the evergreen narrative for AI is CapEx, so it fits underneath sort of a different umbrella. But
Right.
it's a conversation piece. It
Sure.
certainly is. So I'm curious to know what you think of what your index has seen from that front.
Yeah, I mean, look, we do see significant discussion in on CapEx because AI. We do track AI as a narrative. It's just not in this program because it's a narrative that happened only in the last 3 years. Even within AI, it's not just general AI. It's AI data centers, AI chips, AI energy, AI water consumption to because of the heat that comes out
For the data centers.
for data centers. So not even all AI discussion is the same. But the point is that we can see that there's more discussion in CapEx, and that captures that part of the AI discussion. Now, some of the narratives that are out there that are more esoteric and not part of this evergreen, we're going to miss on them. Of course, and I'm fine with that because at any given point, there's some macroeconomic narratives that are driving the market. So even if we miss some of them, you still expect the strategy to work on average.
I think I asked you this when you were in your green room before we got going, was the concept of there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Right.
It's a trendy thing to say, and it's got a nice ring to it. But I think from your vantage point, you're probably seeing it manifest into some actual numbers and dollars and cents about does it pay off to have bad news, bad headlines.
I think at the end, what we're trying to measure and what we found is that any topic that there's just more discussion on, look, it generates discussion, and then people end up placing bets, placing trades on this. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, when we look at news condition on whether it's negative sentiment or positive sentiment, what we really found, it's overall discussion on a topic is what's important. And let me say also the following. The type of evergreen narratives we're looking at are macroeconomic, right? Now look, no one's going to talk about inflation if there's no inflation. No one's going to talk about fears of recession if there are no fears of recession. So a lot of these narratives to begin with have some kind of a negative connotation already blended into it. So you don't really need to figure out whether it's positive or negative. People talk about inflation, it's probably a negative.
Yeah.
So that's why it's less important to understand the sentiment of the narrative, but it's just more important to understand what is the narrative. It's similar to your question about if the news is correct or false narrative. Mm-hmm. It's like, what is in people's mind now? That's what we're trying to understand.
Yeah, it's irrelevant to a certain extent. Right. In summation, you have found the disconnect in my eyes. So correct me where I'm wrong here. The disconnect is, yes, narrative-driven markets is not a new concept, but the disconnect is quantifying it. Mm-hmm. You guys have been able to quantify the narrative based on the percentage of articles talking about a given topic, which you've deemed evergreen narratives. You track that over time, you connect that asset to the narrative, and then you predict performance. How did I do?
Great.
I got the job. Okay, awesome. Well, I'm really excited. I'm glad that you were able to come down here and take time and shine a light on it, because I know when Tom Haines sat in your very seat and kind of casually mentioned this, myself and my producer Katie's ears perked up. We worked in local news. We're news junkies. We get it. And we thought, boy, that's got some legs to it. That's really interesting. So before you get out of here, I want to know, you're not necessarily an industry insider. I wouldn't say you're an outsider necessarily, but you told me you're an engineer by trade. You're a problem solver. What's been sort of the reception to this index with the people that you converse with?
Oh, I think people love it.
Yeah?
I think people love it because, look, again, it's something that what's nice about it is the explainability. You can understand what the index is doing. It might work sometimes it doesn't work, but you understand exactly why. It's going to work for narratives that are kind of slow moving. If a narrative jump ups and down and too much, then we're going to miss that. But at least you understand what it is. And it relates to conversations that people have. And I've been in the industry for a long time. People know the standard factors and drivers of the market, but we never really understand what's the underlying economics. I'm going to go back to kind of the value spread. and kind of all these different risk premia that people find. But it's hard to really connect those to real macroeconomic events and macroeconomic trends. What we're doing is really going after the drivers. What's really underlying the movements in the market, and we're going through the stories. And we think the stories are what matters, but we're just able to quantify them and build something systematic around it. And so there's so many applications. People like it because not only they can understand it, but there's just so many applications. One application is what we're talking about now, but there's a lot of different applications that could that coming from the same well.
Yeah, and from an explainability standpoint, in my eyes, for a financial professional, the advantage of this index potentially is being able to sit across the table from a client or prospect and say, your portfolio is performing this way because this narrative is driving the market, and you have a tool in your portfolio that is capturing that, and it's protecting you, and it's providing diversification, and that's why you're going to have a successful retirement.
Well said.
Well, I love that. I love a well said from a smart man. So thank you so much for taking the time. Next time we have you on the podcast, I didn't even get into a lot of other things that when our CEO sat down and talked with you real quick, I just picked up on sector rotation, hedge insurance. I mean, my head was spinning. So next time we have you on, I'll do a little bit more homework and maybe we'll expand the conversation to encompass some more factors, but I'm really excited. Thank you for taking the time.
I look forward to
it. Okay, now I really got to do my homework. And thank you for watching. We mentioned Tom Haines' episode. He's got 2. You can check those out in the description below. We'll put the link for those. And if you're looking for ways to grow your practice, our YouTube channel is a great place to start. Straight place to start. Selling with stories, house rules. We've got all kinds of impactful conversations with a wide host of advisors, but also industry professionals. So please check those out, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.